Support for Mission Nonprofit is provided by Thurston Talk.
Hello, my name is Deborah Vinsel, and you're watching Mission Nonprofit. Throughout the year, TC Media highlights the many local nonprofits that help make Thurston County a better place to live, work, and play. In this episode, we're going to take a look back on the year and show you some of our favorite moments with the many organizations we featured this year. South Sound Dance Access believes that dance is for everyone. Their goal is to provide a quality dance education to local elementary schools and the community by giving access to those who may not be able to afford it one step at a time.
Give us a background about what South Sound Dance Access does for the community.
Yeah, so we are an arts access nonprofit, and we're specifically focused on dance, movement, and the performing arts. And so our mission is ensure that all people have access to dance, movement, and the performing arts as a means of physical and mental health. And we do that by bringing dance into the public schools, by offering community workshops to the public, and by offering scholarship programs to allow lower income families to bring their children to have studio education. I really believe that dance is one of the best things we can do to help strengthen the mind-body connection. And more of the research that's coming out right now about the nervous system and how children learn really shows us that children cannot learn unless they're in rest and digest, unless they're able to be in their parasympathetic nervous system. One of the quickest and fastest ways to help access that is through the body and through movement. So when we bring dance into the schools, or when we enable more children to access dance, we're helping them settle their nervous systems, we're helping them connect their minds and their bodies, and that's making their brains receptive to learning and putting them in a state where they're going to be even stronger learners in the classroom for all of the subjects beyond just the arts, but also for their math and their science education. One of the things that we hope to offer in the future is community programs, and that can mean a lot of different things, but what we're imagining is sort of workshops, and so those would be more like one-offs, public workshops that are offered at free or low cost to the public that are movement workshops.
Another opportunity you can provide to youth is scholarships for dance, right? So that they have the opportunities if they can't afford to take a dance class.
So our scholarship program is still under development, and it's something that we're still fundraising for.
Okay.
But that's our ultimate hope, is that one of the things we'll be able to provide is scholarships, sort of basically essentially fee waivers, so that students who maybe they start dancing through our programs in the schools and they fall totally in love with it and they want to pursue further training in a studio setting but wouldn't be able to afford to, we can offer funds to help make that happen. So they can email us at access@southsounddance.com, and they can just email us and say, hey, we're interested in your Dance in the Public Schools program, and we'll initiate a conversation about what that looks like.
Many children who grow up in foster care still need ongoing support and care once they become adults. The Bren Rose Foundation's goal is to provide a home and stability to those young adults who are facing the world after an upbringing often filled with trauma and neglect.
Now, the Bren Rose Foundation is brand new. You just started. What is it that you do for the community here?
Well, I have a large home on the east side of Olympia that I rent to young adults who are aging out of foster care or homelessness. I live on site as support and kind of the manager of the home. And I just help them get connected to services, help them with life skills, help them with conflict resolution, and just learning how to live in community in the home. I like to call it a soft place to land is what I try to provide for them, so they can just rest for a little while and not feel so much pressure from the outside world. Unfortunately, though, for kids with trauma, they're often not operating at their chronological age. And so they're 18 years old, but actually they're not 18 years old, and the world expects them to do all these things that they're not even prepared to do. But they're sick of being in the system. They're sick of being told what to do. They're sick of this being under this microscope. So they fly out. I had several who at 18, even though they liked me, they didn't want to be under rules. They didn't want to, be told what to do anymore, and they would take off and then come back a few months later. Yeah. So that's, in all those years, I got to see how much they struggle when they leave care, and all the systems that are in place. There's great agencies that are just doing everything they can trying to address this issue, but it's so large, it's so big, and agencies have grown so large that it's very difficult for them but many fall through the cracks because there's a standardized way of being that both in the state and with these large agencies, and it's not as individualized as I personally think it should be, which is why I want to stay on the small side. I don't want to become some giant agency with a big building, and I want to stay on the ground. I'm going to be networking with another local nonprofit who does homeless outreach. And together we hope to just streamline kids off the street into homes that we both then manage and help support. So the houses don't get trashed, and so that the kids, or young people, I call them kids, but the young adults can heal from their trauma and get stabilized, move into the front of their brain instead of, operating out in fight or flight in survival mode, so that they can start to make the decisions that will help improve their life. Because that's the other thing too, is that, when they're in survival mode, they cannot even access the parts of their brain that they need to make the decisions that everyone expects them to be able to make.
So it sounds like Brenrose Foundation has got a great mission.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for what you do for the community.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, looking forward to growing and getting more homes so that we can serve a larger population.
So it'd help for people out there watching to donate to the Brenrose Foundation.
That would be very helpful.
And you have a beautiful website, brenrose.org, and then at Brenrose Foundation is your, I think, Facebook. Do you have a Facebook? And do you have an what other social media?
I think that's just it for now.
So you've got the Facebook at Brenrose Foundation. You've got the website, brenrose.org, and people can go to those and they can find out how to donate to you.
Yes.
Thurston County values and fosters art from artists of all kinds. The Theater Artists of Olympia have brought live theater to the area for almost 20 years. Since beginning as a traveling troupe, the group has grown roots in the community, now providing a space for their own eccentric performances as well as other theatrical groups.
Now tell me about your titles with Theater Artists of Olympia. You're the president, right?
I am. I'm Michael Christopher, and I am the president of Theater Artists Olympia, also one of the founding members of Theater Artists Olympia.
And John, what do you do for Theater
I'm the
Artists?
vice president. I run all the graphics mainly, and I'm a relative newbie. I started in 2014.
Okay, that's relative because you actually have been around for, is it 20 years?
It will be officially October will be the official 20-year mark. So,
oh, nice. This is your 20th year. Fantastic.
20th year. We never anticipated having a space. So all our shows were designed and built in a way that they could get plopped into a couple vehicles, driven to a space, set up fairly quick, and perform in multiple locations. So that was one of our first instances of how we wanted to operate.
And then fast forward 20 years, now you have a space at the mall.
Now we're in
which
the
is
Capitol
really
Mall.
fun.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. It's a great little space. It's so interesting that that the mall has branched out on what they're doing, and like there's the library there now, and so having them pivoting and having things that are outside of just standard retail, I think is really fantastic, and I think it's a lot of fun to get some theater onto the west side. There's never been like a centralized live theater on the west side of town.
Theater Artists Olympia is a sort of a separate entity. We're a resident there, but the Ole Theater is it's kind of its own thing.
Okay.
Right. So we run it, but yes, we'll be, because there's so many other companies that will be coming in using the space, and we all have different brand identities.
Right.
Theater Arts Olympia is more of a kind of a renegade, doing shows that are less well known, good, but not as often produced.
I want to get us back onto a nice cadence of producing shows consistently.
Uh-huh.
That's I don't want to push things too hard, because that's, you're like, okay, here's the first bite of the elephant, and then we'll keep going from there. But
Firefighters in Thurston County aren't just putting out fires. The Olympia Firefighters Foundation was created as a way to help their community through charitable donations to those who need it most. Just some of the many things they do include helping those affected by fires and serving underprivileged children and their families with resources from food to winter coats.
So the Olympia Firefighters Foundation, this is broad in scope, but we enrich our community through charitable donations and acts of kindness. And again, like I said, that's very broad, but we kind of break it down into three things. And that is, one, providing opportunities to youth within our community, more specific to safe and secure educational environment for them. Then we provide relief to victims of fires and other catastrophic emergencies. And also we provide assistance to those in crisis or any other unforeseen circumstances. We have established currently 4 different pantries, 2 in the Olympia School District and 2 in the Tumwater School District. And through those, we are able to provide shelf-stable foods for kids to maybe go home on the weekends and they don't have a secure, sustainable food source at home. Also, like you said, hygiene products or school supplies, backpacks, coats. And in addition to that, we always, I shouldn't say always, but every year we've done a Coats for Kids program. And this past year we were able to actually give out 850 coats to kids in 4 schools, 2 in the Olympia School District and 2 in the Tumwater School District. So normally as a fire department, we try and partner with the Red Cross. So myself, for example, within the city of Olympia, we could partner with Red Cross to assist victims of fires, but more specifically when it comes to the larger needs. So I don't know if you remember the large fire that we had in that, the arson fire downtown Olympia just a couple of years ago now. But that caused a lot of distress within the community. Not only were there businesses that were displaced, but there's also a family that was living in an apartment above one of those businesses that lost everything.
Yeah.
And so outside of the needs of maybe Red Cross or something like that, we're able to go to those individuals or those businesses and provide them with a little bit of money or some rental assistance. Or specifically for that family, we were able to partner with the school district to get them housing as well as clothes and whatever else they needed to get by.
Being a parent can be one of the most difficult and rewarding jobs one can have. Family Education and Support Services is here to provide parents with the tools and resources to help them be the best parents they can be for their families.
We launched in 2000, and we have 3 offices, one in Thurston, Lewis, and Mason counties, and we serve about 16,000 people a year.
Our goal is to help children grow into healthy adults, and healthy adults mean a healthier community.
My life was living on the streets, heroin addict, CPS involved. My kids were removed from my care due to my drug use and my neglect. I heard about the Parent for Parent program while at the Harvest program at BHR in Mason County. I learned how to be a parent in that class, and actually it helped me how to act in normal life,
We're kinship caregivers, and these are the children that we're raising. And we just graduated them from driver's education a couple weeks ago.
No matter what we're going through, we can share the realities of the ups and downs and always understand each other from that special. It's a kinship between us as well as a kinship care.
When adults are connected and thinking about the health and well-being of youth, then we can grow healthy children who grow into healthy adults who grow into a healthy workforce, and our community is better off.
The programs that FES has offered me and that I've seen so far has brought change into my life to better myself and to really be a better person for my kids.
So for us to just be able to be there for families, I know has helped make it safer. I know that there are kids who go to bed safer because their parents spent some time with us. And I know that some parents have found hope because they were able to spend time with us.
I learned about Family Education Support Services through the Harvest program treatment. PCAPS helped support me just be there if I need anything, help me with resources, but really just support me feeling that I'm a powerful, strong woman. I'm a good mom. If I hadn't met Family Education Support Services, I don't think my kids would be back in my life. I'd still be the same place I was before. Things are way better now. My life is amazing. Every day is a new day. Every day is better. I'm blessed.
I would just encourage people to smile when they see someone in trouble, not be judgmental, volunteer when they can, give, donate, give time, give money, whatever they can give. We all live in this community. We should all contribute.
And they can find those classes just on your website at familyess.org. And there's like a list of all the classes. And like you said, some of them are free.
Yes.
But if you can't pay for any of the ones that aren't free, then you'll work something out. You'll work with the parents. Okay, that's awesome.
Yep.
When veterans return home, adjusting to life can be stressful, especially when waiting on their benefits. So when life happens, like a broken down car or a child care bill, the Veterans Independence Foundation is there to help their fellow veterans out.
If you're a disabled veteran, there's tons of places out there to help you. What there isn't, though, is, let's say a water heater in your house breaks, or you need short-term child care help. Maybe you're switching jobs or whatever. Nobody out there can help you with that, so we do. If you are an eligible veteran, and there's only 3 criteria, you have to be honorably discharged, you have to be registered with the local VA, and you have to have a demonstrated need for whatever assistance you're asking for. In 2018 is when we started, but this goes back before that. I was injured in Iraq, and I did a few deployments, and it just got to the point where I could almost no longer walk. So I was discharged, and then the VA took over all the stuff. Well, between the time the VA benefits kicked in and the time I got out, there was a huge gap. It was a couple of years. So there was no resources. Luckily, I had family that was able to help. But I did lose my water heater, and I did lose my refrigerator, and it all happened in a couple of months. Could not afford to replace them. My brother helped me out, which I thank God for that. But my wife and I thought about it. We said, you know what, if we're in this boat, there's got to be a ton of veterans in the same boat that have a one-off issue that they can't afford to resolve themselves. So we said, if we get back on our feet, and when we do, we will start this organization to help veterans that were exactly in the same boat as us. Please go to heretohelpvets.org, click on the upper right-hand corner, there's a donate button. If you donate $20 a month or more, you get a free ticket to all of our shows.
Awesome.
So you get, over 50, you'll get 2 free tickets to any single show throughout the year.
Retirement should be a time of leisure from all those hard-working years put in. The Retired Public Employees Council works to protect hard-earned benefits of retired state, county, and city employees. The organization is highly respected, both as a political force and as a recognized leader in retiree issues, not only with our elected officials, but with other active and retired employee organizations as well.
So, tell us about Public Employees Council of Washington, Claire.
We represent the employees who retired from the state, cities, counties, other municipalities, special purpose districts and such, work together to enhance and protect the pensions. We work on healthcare issues. We're getting more cozy with our congressional delegation so that we can have some influence and say.
Retired Public Employees Council is a great organization for retirees, especially those of us that want to stay active and involved in how we can protect our pensions and our Social Security and our Medicare. We do this on several levels, with legislature, with mailings, and with speakers that we have come in, political speakers, in contact with our legislators and people in the community on issues that affect our members. It's important that a Retired Public Employees Council is involved in the community and involves our members, because these issues are so important to our daily lives. They affect our health insurance, our Medicare, our Social Security, our retirement benefits. These are all really important issues to seniors and retirees, And we understand that we have a much louder political voice with 10,000 voices all speaking at once. And we find that's very effective and a good way to represent our members. A benefit of membership in retired public employee are some members-only benefits that are provided to our members. Also, collectively, we meet socially, and I think you'll find Retired Public Employees Council is a very important part of our community, and we welcome your involvement, and please come and join us. We'd love to have you.
For those feeling hopeless and lost, it can be a hard time to find help or even someone to talk to. If you know someone who is struggling with suicidal thoughts, Thurston County's own crisis clinic is there to help people by being a listening ear and connecting them with local resources.
You know, the crisis clinic, basically what we do and what we've done in the community for 50 years now, since 1972, is we provide 24-hour telephonic crisis intervention services that are free of charge and are one of the few crisis lines in the state that are still anonymous and confidential unless there's a concern of immediate danger. And so, you know, thinking about National Suicide Awareness and Prevention Month, you know, that's what we do, right? We're sort of that safety net when it comes to folks having serious behavioral health crises, such as suicidal ideation. But we also go throughout the community, go typically in schools, youth groups, other places where young people are to talk about suicide, which for young people is something that is really just not talked about, right?
Yeah.
It's a big reason that young people don't ask for help. You know, there was a need that was seen amongst a group of Evergreen students in the dorms at Evergreen back in 1972. And a need was seen in the community for someone to listen when someone's going through something very challenging, a crisis of some sort, right? Difficult times in someone's life, difficulty with relationships, difficulty in anything, right? And that was really the principle that we had, which is that it doesn't matter what somebody's going through, we want to be available.
My name is Aaron Wheeler. I am the board president of the Crisis Clinic of Thurston Mason Counties. We provide 24-hour telephonic crisis intervention for anyone in need.
Here, our main thing is to listen to people calling in and let them talk and not try and come up with solutions or plans for them. The focus is on them. We meet them where they're at.
I really believe that everyone deserves to have a safe place to call and someone to listen to them. I think that together as a team, we can really make a difference and help heal our community.
So it's pretty extensive training that you go through over about a month and a half. It really gives you the tools that you need to be able to respond reflexively to people's needs. You know, we always hear of the term empathy and sympathy and really reaching out to them in an empathetic way where they can help themselves.
I think the most rewarding part is just feeling like I'm helping people, feeling like that the organization has a really good message to get out to the community, just to be someone that they can talk to.
A donation would mean that we're able to continue providing our services to the members of the community. In the crisis line, we all have good intentions. We all want to be here because we want to be there for others, regardless of who they are.
Although there have been many advancements in the treatment of HIV and AIDS, it's still important to be tested for sexually transmitted infections. PCAF, or the Pierce County AIDS Foundation, has provided testing and connection to resources for people of Pierce and Thurston County for more than 30 years.
So we were founded over 30 years ago, and we were founded in the Tacoma region, really focused on people living with HIV and associated illnesses. And then as the epidemic grew, so did our organization. So you can find us in Pierce County, in Thurston County, Mason County, and Lewis County. And in Thurston County, we're in Olympia. We're at 2101 on 4th Avenue East. We're open Monday through Fridays. And right now we're open around 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So just walk on in through the door. Somebody will test you for HIV and STI. So like what we used to call STDs when we were younger, but now we say STIs for a lot of biological reasons. But anyway, so one thing that's very important is when they talk about knowing your status. Let's say you're dating somebody new, or you're just going to go out and you want to, like, just part of your normal healthcare checkup, you just want to get screened, and you don't want to necessarily go to the doctor and go through all these processes. You're just like, oh, I want my results now. So come on down to PCAF. The person who opens the door for you is the same person who will screen you. They're wonderful. They're very super nice. And you'll get your test results. You'll get your HIV test results immediately.
Wow.
And you'll get your STI test results the next day. So it's fast and clean.
Go to pcaf-wa.org.
Exactly.
And they can find out where the locations are in Tacoma. You've got one in Olympia. You've got one. Do you have one in Mason County as well?
So in Mason and Lewis, we roam around.
Okay.
So we go to where the people are.
All right. But they can probably find out where that's going to be. All right. On your website.
The organization Three Little Pitties are dog and cat's best friend. From Texas to Lacey, they help rehome animals in need of loving families right here in our community.
Yeah, so we are an all-breed dog and cat rescue. We primarily rescue in Houston, Texas. There's extreme overpopulation, overcrowding of shelters. So we rescue our animals in Houston, and they go through a vetting process. Behavioral team works with them there, and they're posted for adoption here in the Pacific Northwest. We transport them about every 3 weeks or so up here on our big green semi-truck. And our adopters and fosters meet that truck and meet their new fur babies and family members. So here we are focused on getting those dogs adopted. We have fosters all throughout the region, and then events that we put on and things to get those dogs seen and adopted.
And what can the community do to help you in your mission?
Here, especially, the community can sign up to be fosters. We are always looking for fosters for animals. The more fosters we have here, the more animals we can send from Texas here to get them adopted, and that just makes space in Texas for the next dog or cat. We also have various ways for people to donate financially on our website, including our monthly donation, which is called the Pit Crew. And that goes straight to all of our adoptable animals and getting them the medical care they need. Medical is our biggest expense, upwards of $64,000 a month. And then we also have merchandise on our website, our shirts, our dog bandanas, all kinds of good stuff. And then really just spreading the word, telling people about our organization and about our animals, reposting our adoptable dogs on Facebook. You never know who's going to see them and fall in love with them and want to adopt them or one of our other pets.
Thanks for watching this Best of 2023 episode of Mission Nonprofit, and for helping us give a special thanks to all of these wonderful organizations that make it their mission to give back to the community. All of this year's videos can be found at the TC Media website, tcmedia.org, and on our YouTube channel, if you'd like to catch up with all of these great groups. We hope you'll join us again next year when we bring you more Mission Nonprofit.
Support for Mission Nonprofit is provided by Thurston Talk.